Thomas, good to see you again.
Thanks
so
very
as
much.
you mentioned, we've seen a rally in these base metals prices, but you're remaining cautious.
Yeah, I think we've seen a rally for two key reasons. The first is US dollar weakness, and the second is obviously speaking in China about policy relief on both property and monetary policy. I think we remain cautious that actually the slowdown is ahead of us now, and the markets seem to have focused on recovery a little bit too early. We think the first opportunity for real recovery will be in the second quarter of 2011. At this stage, I think what we've seen is really just speculative buying and maybe demand being a little bit better than expected, but it's risks more than reward for the next 6 months.
No, so definitely look for a weaker second half than for 2010.
For sure.
Okay, so if that's the case, then how do you trade ahead of that?
Well, we would, if you look at the copper companies, they're probably most vulnerable. We've got a sell on Jiangxi Copper. This stock is trading at over 1 standard deviation above price to book, so that's obviously quite a high level. And we think that fully reflects the high copper price. So any weakness in copper price is going to be very sensitive in Jiangxi Copper. Chalco, likely to have bad third quarter results on the weak prices at the beginning of this quarter. Obviously, some minor cost impacts from policy around power. But in essence, we think that the demand situation is really going to be the key that drives a crack in the base metals.
Okay, in the base metals. Now, I was talking to you about the story that we have out on the Bloomberg terminal this morning about China's industrial output growth having weakened in the month of July. What does that mean for coal producers? Because we've seen electricity use maybe not meet the levels and expectations that we were looking for.
Yeah, I think the great thing about the coal producers relative to the base metals is a lot less volatile. It's a very stable business. We effectively, a lot of the big players, China Coal, Shenhua, obviously big contract players. We still expect price increases on contracts into 2011, which are at big discounts to current spot prices.
Yeah, but you're saying sell Yanzhou coal.
This is because this is the most exposed spot coal play, and also is exposed to a product called semi-soft coal. This goes into the steel industry. Lower steel production, lower semi-soft prices. So in the second half, as we anticipate a pullback in steel production, then we'd anticipate like strong headwinds for Yanzhou, which we think is pretty expensive at 17 Hong Kong dollars.
Yeah, Thomas, earlier on this morning, I was talking to an Australian equities analyst, and we're talking about the stellar results we got from Rio Tinto and the steel and the iron ore space. Are you saying that we won't be seeing these sort of results in the second half from these big mining giants as well?
I mean, the results are obviously very retrospective in that regards. First quarter and into second quarter was an incredibly strong period for the bulk commodities related to steel, and hence Rio's good results. But in essence, in the second half, what we're going to see is that negative impact of production cuts, which are necessary to adjust the supply to match the demand in the second half, as we see China's property sector slow down in terms of floor area starts. So this is going to be the strong headwind, which we're slightly cautious about in 2H.
Yeah, and how long are you going to be cautious for in terms of China?
Well, I think if we see this significant production pullbacks over the next kind of 3 months, then hopefully that can lead to a destocking event. Once we've seen destocking in place, then we can feel more positive about the potential for recovery and more positive policy into 2011.
Yeah, Thomas, unfortunately, base metals are not exactly the sexiest commodity today, since wheat is stealing all the headlines, aren't they?
That is for sure.
That's for sure. But thank you for dropping by.